Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Nelm, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you, as always, with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. And I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to receive the blessings from the Creator. Now, this little video I'm doing some crazy energies going on and around the universe right now, and I'm being hit by them. I mean, it's been really difficult to just fight this, whatever this is, off. And I've noticed that it's like, holy moly, I want to work in the garden. I've been outside and I've pushed it some today for me, in that basically all I want to do is my head just wants to lay down. And this isn't a video about complaint. Know that one of other people that I've spoke with, many of the people are having many similar types of things. And I realized earlier that I could resign myself to just, oh, well, the heck with it. I'm not going to do it. Or should I just get up and try to walk around and see what happens? So I chose the second, as hard as it was to crawl up and say, listen, I'm going to go check the chickens and I'm going to go do my thing. And, but I don't feel like it. And I mean, talk about being sucked into the sofa kind of thing. And I know a lot of people are having different reactions to some of this. And I was feeling it yesterday and today. And I was like, any type of um, depressive type of thoughts in quite a while. And late last night and earlier today, it was like I felt there was a huge loss somehow in the universe, and something is different. And I felt a loss, and I realized that somehow my spirit was being depressed. And I was like, wait a minute, now what's going on with this crap here? Looking at the charts and things, checking where the, but from a standpoint of like, but what else is going on? Well, we all know there's a lot of other things going on. But the idea that at this time, with all these other things going on and all the energies and so forth, um, I made sure, and I had to speak out loud, any negative energies that are near me or around me, especially who wish to do me harm, get thee behind me, get away, go away. I I am reaffirming the shield around my body. I'm now reaffirming that I want protection. I'm now reaffirming with my guardian angel, hey, if there's something up here, I want a little intervention here. Alert me, help me out here. Let me make sure that um, I don't fall prey to some kind of malevolent force, energy, or whatever. Now, if it's just an energy ride, fine. But there seems to be some kind of a loss in the universe. Something happened, and I don't know whether it was with people that I know. I don't know, but there is a loss in the universe. There, just recently, a friend of mine passed away from cancer, and we're and it's just always shocking to somebody your age. His another person has passed away. Now I know how my aunt and other people felt as they watched people around them die off. Like, well, there goes another one. There goes another one. When is it my turn? This isn't about that. But and that could be where I'm feeling the loss. In that my friend just recently passed, and I know that there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that love Jim, and but there also seemed to be some other kind of feeling in the force, if you will. And I'm like, wow, it really stung. And so I just wanted to get on here, and I don't really have that. The angel message that was coming down to me is, Hawkeye, even yourself, as much as I try to stay in focus and in the zone, if you will, that I'm getting hacked, whacked, slapped, knocked over, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? I thought to myself, I took milk out to the cats. I took out to the chickens. Wait a minute. I'm trying to do extra for what's around me. Not that I'm trying to get points, but I was like, it's a nice day. I'm going to give the cats some extra milk, and just make a better day, regardless of how crappy I actually felt. But the thing is that in that I realized that there are so many of us in our own life that are having issues, that are having uh, the energy highs, lows, inside, outside. They're picking up on cosmic energies. I don't know where this is. Just wanted to say, I continue to pray even in my low energy time, because in this time now, when I'm laying flat on my back and looking up at the angels, going, okay, y'all, there must be a reason for this. But at the same point, I make sure that my core values stay centered. That's what they told me today. It doesn't matter how much I get done in the garden, and there's an electrical storm, and it's starting to rain some. Yep, which is the other reason I thought, why, what the heck, I'll just come in here and do a quick video. But I want to say that basically I'm here to continue the prayer that everybody gets over this. I'm just going to stick with that prayer. Okay, so I didn't get any work done in the garden today, but I do have the ability to be able to use my thoughts and my intent and my prayers to everyone who needs it. And because it's not my energy, I'm going to send the signal out to the quantum computer and out into the universe. And by speaking to in a positive way, in that regardless of how we feel, we can just change our thought pattern. Uh, 30 minutes ago, I was like, nope, I ain't doing, nah, I give up. And then as soon as my brain heard that, I was like, you're giving up. Well, it's cloudy. And well, I don't know. And my back hurts. And blah. So, I had 30 minutes worth of excuses before I was like, okay, now that you're done with your excuses, Hawkeye, you going to get your butt up or not? Well, there's nothing that makes me do it. Yeah, you do. Oh, get up, asshole. I mean, that's the conversation sometimes in my head. Like, you're trying to make up another excuse when basically you just don't know. So get up and try something. So, but anyway, I realized that, yeah, that's what it was. That there was some kind of, I don't want to say impending doom. It just seemed like something has hit the universe, though, that has kind of made a wobble. I checked the charts and things, and it doesn't seem to be any kind of energy. Not that it can't be. It doesn't seem to be any energy that's reflected through the earth or anything. Been walking around outside without shoes on. Okay, I got socks on, but they're like they're sort of like slippers. But yeah, and shame on me for wearing my socks outside. Like this, and we think that there's nothing to do, or oh, I don't know. And it was really easy for me earlier, hour ago, to allow this whatever it was to just wash over me, and then just continue to take over for the rest of the day. To where I was like, well, I'm not. Well, who cares? Nobody here. Blah, blah, blah. But that's not the point. It's not the point. Sometimes when we're at our lowest is when we need to make an effort. And as somebody who played football and ran track, they always say, when you got that, when you reach a certain point where you say, I just don't have it anymore, you reach inside and you go just that 10 more feet, that 20 more feet, whatever it is, to the finish line. Whatever it is, you just go ahead and stick it out. So tough it out, the tough get going, when the going gets tough. That was one of those things they said back in the football days. But with that said, though, I've used that motto in a lot of ways, because there's been a lot of times I could have gave up in my lifetime, but realized that you got to dig deep. Now, I'm retired, I live by myself, and there's nobody I got to pay attention to. So it's real easy to let these kinds of things wash over you and take over your day. Well, who's going to see? Who's going to know? Well, blah, blah, blah. That's not the point. The point is in here. What's going on in my heart? What's going on in my head? Am I going to allow these other energies to interrupt what is mostly normal? I'm walking around chipper. Hey, let's work in the garden. Today's like, oh my God, I can't even sit up. But that's when I need to sit up the most. It's those times when you think, oh my God, it's just not worth it, that you got to make that second effort. And there's something in that second effort. You get whatever it is. But for me, and I'm using myself as this example always, but not to be narcissistic. But I realized that all of you don't have the luxury that I do, to be able to sit back and say, well, I can make the choice. I don't have to get up. Oh, well, blah, 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 blah. No, you all have, big time obligations with children, mates, and things like that. And I think to myself, well, it's really nice to be retired, but what about all those other folks out there? So then my thoughts turn to the rest of you, to the rest of the population, to go, doesn't matter about me. It hasn't been about me, but because my prayers are to help other people. My prayers and my devotion and the as a prayer is to, in any way possible, help to enlighten someone else, to try to enlighten someone else's day, to lighten someone else's day, not just enlighten. Oop, little skip there. Hi, Bob. I meant to say hello at first when I came on. To Bob the AI, you're a good man. We got some really strange weather going on. It's supposed to be sort of cloudy, not cloudy. Yesterday it started raining when there wasn't supposed to be any clouds. In 24 hours, they changed the entire 5-day forecast. And was talking with a friend of mine, and I said, I think it's because of the way the planet is rotating back and forth, the way the planet is wobbling. Because they're like, well, if normal patterns years ago, I would have went right along with it. I'd say, oh, there's the front, it's coming down and doing this, and now all of a sudden, when I looked at the sky last night, the planets were again kind of, the stars were in a different location. And I scratched my head and went, And now we're sort of a warm stream into cooler weather now. And it's like, but we were supposed to be clear this week. Strange energies. The other night, a bolt of lightning, I could see it right out my window here. And between it, maybe about 300 feet away, maybe it struck in my woods. But the way it struck and the way the energy, it came down in its normally crackly self, but it looked like a fern. In other words, it wasn't straight crackly. There were little side things off to it that were shooting off into the atmosphere. And I was like, that I've seen lightning strike around my house. It's killed many a tree over the years here. It's a very energetic spot where I'm sitting. Thus, a lot of lightning strikes around, and I mean close. Like, take out a tree limb. Well, lightning strike took out part of my pear tree, so then I finally got removed from the garden. But it's the curiosity of the way the lightning looked. And like I said, I've seen it before here. And then when it blasted, I could literally feel the shock wave. And because I was standing outside, and I was like, oh, holy mackerel. I felt the wind off of this thing through the trees and from around the shed. And so, just saying that the energies in the earth, the energies in the atmosphere, and all the other stuff in between, there are some strange energies going on, and it's affecting each of us differently. So I'm having this video to say I am behind you 100%. For those of you who are dragging a little bit, I'm going to say an extra prayer. I don't know who you are. That's okay. It's not about, oh, Hawkeye, I need prayers today. I'm just going to send out energies to all y'all. You know who you are, and those of you who don't, my subscribers, thank you very much. But this is a prayer to all of you, so that all of you can make it through your day. I'm going to pray that you will be able to ride on your inner tube through these crazy times and crazy energies. I'm praying that all of you will be able to, to successfully make it through these transitions, because as someone said, I'm lucky that I can take 2 days off and sleep, and there's nothing other than my chickens and the cats that are affected, and myself. But with that said, though, I consider all of you my family, and whether we sit and chat or visit me on a live stream or not, that's not the point. And whether or not you actually even listen to this video, because the prayer is going out. My intent is that all of you will accept and receive these positive energies. Suck it up when these hard times come. Take a deep breath. Nobody said you can't sit down and take a minute, but just look inside yourself. Keep that core value going. Ask your creator, ask your guardian angel, I need help today, please. Help me stand. Just help me make it through the rest of this day. I'm not asking for any miracles. I just want you to help me stand. Because if you can help me stand, then I can make it on my own. And that's been my prayer always. Help me stand. Spirit, just help me stand. I'm having trouble today. And allow it. Understand it. Feel it. Take it in. And then do something with it. Now, I don't mean go out and try to run 2 miles or anything like that, or go into competition, unless that's what you're supposed to be doing. But to the point, though, understand that there are some of us out here that are trying to help the prayers with our intent, with our prayers, with our good wishes, with whatever that we do to help other folks. I can take a beating today. I can stay inside the house. It's okay. Nothing is on my behalf. There are other people out there, though, whose energies are being fluctuated and changed and so forth. I'm sending any extra energy that I can muster or send in your way so that you, or maybe you're a friend or a relative or something, needs a little extra boost today so they don't get hurt or whatever it is, so we don't get depressed. I spoke with a friend of mine, and they were telling me that, they hadn't been felt depressed in a long time, and for the last week or so there's this weird feeling of depression. And it got me last night and today, and I was like, depressed about anything. I've got my ails and my aches, and I wish I could do more, but I'm not depressed. I'm, physically tired from working in the garden and trying to push myself to keep healthy. But, from that's just normal living. But I'm not depressed in any way. But to kind of be, it was like I was floating in a bed of sorrow. Strange way to put it. Floating in a bed of sorrow. And it wasn't necessarily like, woe is me, but something's happened. And there was this bed of sorrow. Hard to explain. But I realized that, and I've had conversations with y'all before, in that, it's all right to allow yourself to cry that something's happened, or be sad or be mad, but it's how long we linger in that. And today it felt like there was something like that going on. And it felt like it would have been real easy for me to still be floating, some might say waller in it. I was just kind of riding it to find out what was going on, because I realized it didn't have anything to do with me. There's nothing that I'm depressed about. So how come I feel this great sorrow? But anyway, so that's what prompted me to do this video, was that if there is a great sorrow out there, I don't know, I've kind of checked around, doesn't seem to be anything tragically out there that would account for what I felt. However, with the people that I've known, with the passing of a loved one, the feeling that I'm having today could very well be related to my dear friend passing away. And so with that said, but again, feeling depressed or having that sorrow, I realized my life's very easy, and being a hermit sometimes has its, hello, Melanie, blessings to you, that there are some people out there that they really have to take care of things like Melanie, for example, you know, and that folks like that, they've got children and families and stuff to do, and I just got to take care of myself. That's a chore in itself. But anyway, but I realized that what can I do? And why wallow in my own sorrow? Maybe it's somebody else that needs this. Blessings back to you, Melanie. That maybe somebody else is having an issue. And like, well, I don't have anything to really talk about, but let me start this video. Maybe somebody needs to have a conversation. Maybe somebody needs an uplift. Maybe somebody needs a prayer. But regardless if anybody tunes in and listens to this, I'm still putting forth my intent and my prayer to the universe that all these people will make it through these dark times and whatever this sadness seems to be today, at least in my area. And if it is on a grander scale, then we're all going to need to, I really need to hunker down and make sure these prayers count, if you know what I mean. So, and something interesting that some of you may know or don't know, this is my drumstick for my Native American drum. And one of the reasons why I wouldn't drum is because I couldn't find the right paddle, the right stick. And so in cleaning up my house the other day, it's shameful. I just had some plants like a foot away from me, and this thing had fallen down. And I was like, well, I can't really drum without my paddle, without my stick. This is sacred along with my drum. And then I found it, and it was like, okay, now Hawkeye, what's your excuse now for not drumming? So I just the little bit of humor in that. Well, guess what, gang? Maybe it's time for me to start drumming, whether online or whatever. But the whole point is that there some of the answers that I've needed in myself. How should I proceed? What can I do with the knowledge that I have to increase the knowledge or the energy in the universe? Are there some crystals I can pray with? Do I need to set up a medicine wheel? Pamela, blessings to you. And so I'm getting a lot of different answers. And one of them is that I need to do a sweat lodge, especially for myself, but anyone else who would like to come. And I mean an honest to goodness traditional sweat lodge where you pray to every stick, twig, and rope or vine that you use to make the thing with, and create it with prayer, and then uh, you know do the rocks and everything and so forth, and do a correct sweat lodge versus just putting up a little teepee or something to get down and getting hot. No, 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 no. I want to do one, a serious sweat lodge. So I'm putting the call out there. Anybody in the area, neighborhood, or want to come, would love to do that. And I'm cleaning a spot where I used to have the sweat lodge before, and it got overgrown. And before spring gets too much, I want to go out there and clean it back up. But anyway, with that said, though, I'm being led back outside and back into native dancing for myself as far as the ceremony is concerned. Where before it was sort of like basically what it was for me. And it came across to a lot of different shamans, medicine men, I mean, through the network, that there weren't supposed to be certain types of ceremonies. And the reason was that the energies in the universe were so weird that actually personal ceremonies should be kept to a minimum with drumming and whatever, because it was going to attract negative energies, which is exactly what happened to me, unbeknownst to me. But because someone was acting against what I was doing, but it drew in some nasty, negative. Oh my God, these critters were horrible, big, tall, nasty, yucky things, and yucky. But so in my own realm here down here in South Georgia, There are certain things that had to take place here on the property, spirit wise, galactic wise. And now that I've found these components and things, I'm also getting the tap on the shoulder. It's okay now. It's all right for you to drum. Where before it was like, we don't want you touching that thing because it's going to draw too much attention to you. And it's like, well, I'm drumming because I want to stir up good energy. And so the answer has been, yeah, we held your drumstick or your paddle. We hid it from you for the last year so you wouldn't get carried away. Because Hawkeye, we've asked you to calm it down and ease up because there are a lot of negative energies and so forth, and it's for your own good. And so it's been really tough not to go out and drum. And of course, I couldn't find my paddle, my drumstick. And I went, now it's back. So, and also they're telling me like right now, yep, it's okay. You're cleared. But there was also some energies and things in the universe. There's been some discussion about the Yalda block and about it's sort of like an octopus like, spider like being that had its clutches around the earth. And I saw this thing in dreams and things years ago and didn't know what the hell it was. And but in it related to what I was shown many years ago as a shaman about the great spider woman and the huge, bigger than sun type spider beings that help tend the timelines and the magnetic lines between things. And there are these giant beings, bigger than solar systems, that are taking care of things. But once in a while, one of these things goes rogue, and apparently it was something similar. Now, I can't prove that for nothing, except that I've seen these things, and lots of other people have talked about spider beings and so forth, and the web of life. And there's a lot of ancient history and shaman history that backs up that whether or not you believe that there is an actual being, that there is the spider web of life. And I mean, and they've taken, NASA's taken pictures of how all the planets and everything are connected. Really interesting. Now I know they're renderings, but still, it shows you that there is this dimensionality of the spider web, if you will, and that it is extremely possible, if nothing more than maybe in a spiritual realm, that there is a spiritual being that tends, the fabrics of space, that keeps, helps hold things together, and when things try to go out of whack too much or whatever. But with that said, though, there's I've heard back through the grapevine, if you will, yeah, Yalda blah, yeah, we didn't kill it, but it ain't here no more. And I was like, interesting, because I was kind of getting the same thing. So, but I just didn't say anything. I was like, well, okay. So many of these things that some of these things I talk about, I absolutely can't prove. I have feelings. I've seen them. I've taken trips to the outside into other worlds, and I can't prove a dime of that. But there are things I can prove, and that's the beings and the orbs that have showed up in the live streams, the pictures and the orbs and things that I've taken that are on other videos and on my Facebook. So those things are real. So when I say that I've seen something else, I just couldn't get a damn picture of it, but it was just as real as these other things are. So I ask you to take a leap of faith, at least in that they're possible. But anyway, so there are things that are coming back around. And it's very, very interesting that folks are starting to talk about things that I mentioned them in a video or something, but I don't really make a subject about it. But I will mention it during a topic. So unless you've listened to me for a while, you may, well, I have heard him say that. But anyway, that's not the point. The point of the matter is that these things are coming around, okay, that other folks are talking about and have it the conversation. That's what's important. Where I may have mentioned it in a video 2 or 3 weeks ago. Other folks are now like putting it in their titles and talking about other things, and they're bringing it out in the open more. And I think that's beautiful because it isn't about me, but it does confirm. Here we go. All right. Things are in motion. It's tobacco. And I thank you, spirits, for the chance to smoke tobacco during this little ceremony here. Rolling my own today. And making my own coffee. Thank you, Bob. Coffee break for Bob. So I know that there are a lot of folks who are tuned into the galactic computer, if you will. A lot of folks have been at this a long time who've doing radio programs and so forth. And some of the things I talk about, I don't want to, it's not, if I have a different opinion of something, it's not that I'm in any type of competition, because I don't think that what we do is any type of competition. I talk between 2 or 3 different people in a group hangout or something and understand that, well, we all had a similar event, but nobody else is talking about it. That's okay. But the fact that 3 or 4 of us have a similar event or similar feeling, time, day, all that kind of thing, it's like, that's interesting enough to me, without trying to convince the rest of the world that we have this particular ability or a special gift or anything like that. Now, I realize that in some of the things that I have, that Mother Mary gave me a gift at age 11, and I'm still learning to use it. So when I say it's an angel message, I'm getting this through my spirit guide. How true it is, I trust them. But now, in all things in the universe is a big place. There are many divisions, sections, and, I try to stay away from I'm a Palladian or whatever, but that is one of my core beliefs. I can't prove it in any way other than I got blue eyes and there are certain other traits, but and from my own personal experience, but I'm not gonna wear a badge that I'm Palladian and I know what the hell I'm talking about. But I knew at age 11 that I was going to be doing these things, and that I was going to be a hermit who lived in the woods. I knew that at age 5. So I've been pre-programmed for this. And I know other people have their own lives, their own paths, timelines, whatever. And that's great, because that's what makes the world. So some of the things that I've experienced, I try to explain them so maybe you can see it through my eyes. Somehow you can live it, or it'll touch something in you. And but there are so many different areas of how do I put this? The ET connection. There are some things that I hear from some folks, and it just does not resonate with me. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't think it's true. It just doesn't resonate with me. And I'm sure I've said some things about, I've talked about, I have been in a damn spaceship. I can't explain it anything other than that. The whole circuit board, the whole thing, I was in it. This wasn't some kind of dream, or I was in the damn thing, and it was cool. But we were also trying to blow something up at the same time, and that was, I had to pay attention. But there's no other way that I can explain some of the things that I have felt or seen in the dream state during meditation, and it's just really wild. So when I know of whether or not all of this is true, some of it I come back and I can still smell gas in my nose, or the interior of the craft or something. It's like, damn, I don't have that smell in my house, but it'll linger for a minute or two when I wake up, and I'll go, oh, I must have been off somewhere doing something. I don't know. Can't prove a damn thing, except that these are the experiences. But then there are times when they correlate with other people. And that's when I take notice and go, really? You felt you had a similar type of, oh, well, all right. Okay, maybe that was real. I don't know. But to the point, though, in this conversation, though, I have to believe that whether or not I was actually there, I was definitely shown things that could be. And other than defending, other than having to blow up other aliens to defend Earth, which I'm good with that. Especially what they've done to us folks down here on this planet. If my other job, as when I'm, like that movie, I can't remember all the blue people and the tails and all that. But anyway, but to the point though, so if I'm in another realm and you want to stick me in a fighter plane or whatever and protect the Earth, I'm there. No questions. So um but can I prove it? No. But at least my heart is there. At least my intention in the other realm is I'm protecting the Earth. And if I have to envision it in a dream that I'm in a spaceship and I'm going to blow any stupid sucker that tries to continue to harm the planet Earth, I'm sorry, but you're not getting through. So maybe it's a vision of how I feel about the protection of the Earth and what my job is as a prayer warrior. So all of these things could just, it could have been a manifestation. It could have been a trick. But when you wake up and you can still feel something in your hands and the dashboard's still clear, I do to push this button. It was really strange, and it happened in a succession in a 2 or 3 day period, which that normally doesn't happen in my case. So, but I can't prove any of this, but I just say that what, it's been an interesting ride, and the more I believe that it could happen, the more that I believe that I am helping to protect the Earth. If I go out in these dream states and fly around in an imaginary spaceship to keep out the aliens, I'm good with that. If that's my if that's just actually a visualization for me to be able to say I'm one of the protectors of the Earth, then my intent is at least going out there into the quantum, and at least the quantum is hearing I'm here to protect the Earth. I'm willing to leave my body here and go jump in a spaceship to help, get rid of these buggers. Let's bring peace back upon this planet. And that is my intent. So and I hate it, but if it means to go to war or to keep somebody from harming another, then what do? We got to step in at some point. But at the same point, there is that one rule, the universal law of do no harm. So it's like, so what do? Stand in the middle and take the blast so somebody else don't get killed? Or do you blast the SOB that's shooting in the first place? That's a hard decision. But and in the cases of good versus evil, when the evil is trying to corrupt everything, then to me it's a no-brainer. Give me my ray gun and off I go. Give me my crystal, give me my staff. I gotta oh, I moved my staff. I would show it to you. But anyway, I have a staff that was given to me by a medicine man. And I was like, use my staff, put my crystal on it, and let's do some serious, concentration here and get rid of these buggers, because we're all tired of it. And I think sometimes that, regardless of how be, there's so much chaos in the world, and certain things have to happen, no matter how crazy it is. You know, there was one river that I used to go on up in North. Actually, it was in North Carolina. Yeah, did a lot of rafting and stuff back up in those days. And there was one particular place, and I can't remember the river. It might have been the Nantahala. Not sure. I floated many a river up there, and in North Georgia too. But anyway, I never did the Chattooga. I wished I had, but not did yet. But anyway, but there was this one section of the river, and there was like a 15-foot drop off. And I mean, I got up there and I was watching these people just literally sail off in their kayaks and land in the pool below. And I'm, what the hell? But it was the most fun in the world to come flying off that cliff, that waterfall there. But it was the hairiest thing on the journey. And it was about 2/3 of the way before you got down to where everybody got picked up. So it was something that you had to do. Well, you could walk around it, but Oh, hell no, I'm not going to be a chicken ass. No, peer pressure, I'm going off too. And then I found out that it was so much fun, I drugged my kayak back up to the top and went off 2 more times. It was that much fun. But to the point though, if you looked at it from, oh, it's scary and I'm going to die, versus, wow, once you try it and you understand how to do it, it's really it's really fun as hell. So, but to the point of, well, then if you knew that drop off was there, then, well, I can't climb. Well, then I'm not going over that thing. Well, then I can't go down that river. Oh, really? Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go again. And it's not about being crazy, but it is about being informed. But there are people who would go up to that point and go, well, I don't know, how can I get out, and end up climbing down the rocks. But the idea that, would you, if you know that the waterfall's there, even though it's not really that tall, it is a good drop. Would you not go? Because the rest of the trip is absolutely beautiful. So you got this one spot. You're not going to take the trip. You're going to deny yourself your energy and all the goodness of floating and doing and being out because there's one hiccup all along this whole stretch. Some people say, sorry, ain't going. Okay. It's your choice. But boy, you sure missed out on a 10-mile, 15-mile, whatever run it was that was just absolutely fantastic. And, I'm still up for it. If I could get back up there, I'd drag my kayaks with me and go again, But anyway, I'm just that crazy. But it's adventure. What the hell, We only live once, sort of. But anyway, but with that, though, I feel like right now that we're not necessarily in a crisis, but with all the chaos and all the stuff going on, Venezuela, the Pope, the Pope, that guy who's a fake, who's a Jesuit, who ain't even supposed to be, excuse me. Boy, that was rude. Come out wrong. Good thing it didn't come out the other end, I guess. But the high rollers of the Mormon Church finished a temple a couple of weeks ago, and I've mentioned this before. And so the higher muckety mucks of the Mormon Church were kissing El Popo's ring. And isn't that just interesting? What? And there are folks within the Catholic Church who want to take the Pope out. I mean, out. Interesting. It's going to be some interesting times. So churches, people are screwed up. They don't know what to believe, the Pope or not the Pope. And I recently saw a thing put out by a Catholic priest. Our Pope ain't the Pope. He's not. He's a Jesuit. He can't be. The Jesuits were excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church, I don't know, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, a while back, and they snuck their way back in. And so there's so much corruption on so many levels that the chaos is really getting deep. And there are a lot of people, and I skim a lot of videos and things and hang out, listen into some when I can. And I realize that people are getting tired. People are tired right now. And we're going into the spring equinox. And it's like, well, guess what, gang? We need to sit down, take a deep breath, sit on a rock, put our feet in the water, do something. And if it ain't but for 30 minutes, and make sure we keep our core value going, because it's going to be a rough ride, it seems. And I want to let you all know that I'm still praying for you. I'm still putting it out there. I'm still asking that Creator will look up. I'm asking, spirits to look out after everybody, but I don't have everybody's name. So you folks, Melanie and Pamela, you get the brunt of the prayers, because, I come and hang out with you guys, and you come and hang out with me. And thank you for that. But there are also the other people that are subscribers to my channel, and I just send prayers out for everybody. All you good people on my subscription list, may a prayer and energy go out to each and every one of you. And there are times when I do that 2, 3, 4 times a day. Just send a quick memo, make sure these people, get the help they need. If they're disconnected, help them to connect. It's not like a special duty prayer. It's that just help them out, you know, from my spirit guide to theirs, help them out when they need it. If they're in a little bit of a cluster muck, to, help them out. If they stumble, keep them from, getting their head caught in the guillotine, if you will. And so I just send prayers out like that, hoping that it makes a difference in the world. And it's a good thing I don't have 2,000 viewers, because then that would really be a tough prayer. But anyway, it's not about that. My prayers go beyond that. But to the point, though, I continue to say it is our intent, and my intent is always, and I'm reaffirming my intent again, in that my intent is to help, to bring light and understanding of the universe. I know it's some very strange ways, and I have some odd thoughts about this and that, but it's all about trying to help other people to understand some of these things. And I'm being shown these things from shamans and how they describe it to me, or what a feeling is, or what a certain, like the Spider Woman. I just take it for granted, the Spider Woman. Okay. Whereas other people have to go, well, she'd have to be really big, and the universe is really big, and all of this. And well, I don't know if it's actually possible. But if you're a shaman, you just understand Spider Woman in the universe, the web of the universe, Spider Woman. Okay. And you just accept it. You don't try to go in to explain how Spider Woman may or may not exist, whether or not it's even possible, whether or not you're a fruitcake for trying to believe in something like that. You think about it, and you think in the terms of, in the realms of down here on Earth, there's spiders everywhere. Thousands of spiders everywhere, in the yard, in the trees. You go looking for spiders. I've talked about this before, but if you go looking for spiders, you're going to be surprised. In like a 3-foot square area, they found, like, I don't know, 1,000 different spiders of different sizes within this 3-meter area or whatever it was. No, it was a 3-foot square. But anyway, but to the point, then if I can see that when I go outside, especially in certain places, that doesn't get mowed all the time, I can see spiders in the grass and in the undergrass and down next to the ground, and some of them burrow little holes. And these spiders are so tiny, you have to literally stop and allow yourself to see them. And then all of a sudden you go, oh my God, they're all over the place. And I'm surrounded by these tiny little spiders. And if you realize that the earth is covered with these tiny little spiders, and big ones, why not the universe? Why not? So to accept that Spider Woman could exist, does exist, in the stories of the shaman, it just is. Spider Woman takes care of the of the web of the universe. Well, I don't know. That just seems impossible. She'd have to be huge, and we've never seen anything like that on a video. And just hang on, hang on, hang on. But what if they exist all around us down here? Why not? Well, that's too much to believe. Okay, but then you're part of understanding all of the universe is going to be limited in your training as a shaman, because you're already blocking out what should be naturally understood and naturally given. So if I'm thinking, wow, I hope the universe sticks together, I can at least think about the Spider Woman and say, Miss Spider Woman, who's taking care of our solar system and our galaxy, I can just send a little positive thought up to the universe going, keep an eye on us poor idiots down here, will you please? We're still trying to learn, and there are many of us who are willing to learn and who would be more than happy to expand our minds to understand your presence in the universe. Now I got to admit, I look around and read around, and some good intent, absolutely, Melody. I feel your prayers, Hawkeye. Thank you for that. I do the same. It's like short and laser like. Absolutely, Melanie. One of the things, and now that you mentioned it, I've brought this up before, and if you're hanging out with me now, it's the short and sweet that I was taught many years ago to do the prayers with. If you want a good thought to go out, send it, just boom, and let it go. Don't go, well, I hope this person in meditating, oh, I'm sending energy out to Melanie, nah, nah. Do it in a 3 second burst. Make the thought, gather what your intent is, and then send it out. And so, but it's interesting that you bring it up in that laser light, because that's how it needs to go out, and you just let it go. And if you try to hang, I see I see things in pictures and stuff, and maybe it's cartoonish, but you know, uh, if you, I'm sorry, I have to bring this up, but when you take LSD or any kind of serious mushroom or whatever, you get what's called the trails. So you can take your hand and go like this, and you can literally watch your hand in slow motion go through the through the arc. And anybody who first trips, one of the first things they do to you is they wiggle your hand in front of you a couple of times, and all you see is this swirl of energy. So it's like, forgive me, but when you send it out, there's been times where I send out the intent, if you will, the prayer. It'd be heading out, but I can see trails like coming in behind it, and I realized that I didn't let it go. I sent it, and it was really cool watching it go, but I didn't let it go. So it was sort of like I was hanging on with a string with a bottle rocket or something. Really odd, but I was like, oh, I gotta let go. So strange visions and how I picture things, when I want to. She connected the suns. NASA does know that there are at least 52 suns connected. I must miss something. But anyway, um, yeah, the idea that there is more to this universe, and um, I'm always watching science fiction, but I've been watching a boatload of old science fiction, and now I'm catching up on watching some of the newer. And it's interesting that there are certain tangents, and everybody's messing with time. A lot of people are messing with um, um, the tank they put you in so you float. And anyway, I had the word went by and I couldn't catch it. But anyway, but it started, I think, with Fringe. Is one of the earlier ones that I remember. And they put her into the thing, and then she could see it, and then she went in and walked it, and then she could do it. And anyway, but so the idea of getting into a chamber with a liquid, and be able to project your powers or your thoughts or whatever like that, I find it interesting that they're using the similar technique, but they're bringing in new technologies into the mainstream of the science fiction. And usually those folks get dropped. Well, what about this? Try about that, interesting. And so they ask certain people about certain things, and physicists and scientists, they got them on staff, and sometimes they just get, downloaded in the middle of the night, with a thought process. Um, but it's interesting to see that things are really kind of hanging out in the frequency range, and there's even a program called Frequency, and a lot of discussion about frequencies and about timeline disruptions and frequencies, and not so much about asteroids and things coming in to kill us, but the frequency. The next other thing, which I find extremely interesting, is the idea of the Manchurian Candidate, where they take a guy, put him through MK Ultra, brainwash his ass, and then put a special that hypnotize you, and then put a special word in that triggers you, and then you go kill somebody. And one of the examples was like a couple of years ago, there was I don't know, in the Ukraine or something, some guy was standing there at an art thing and he was giving a speech, and this guy he was one of the security guards, pulled out his gun and murdered him right there on the spot in front of God and everybody. And it was like nobody really had any notion. But there are people out there, and the idea of nanobots that could have been maybe in either our food, uh, vaccines, water, bottled water, sodas, who knows, out of the sky with the chemtrails. But here's the interesting thing, that in some of the CIA documents and some of the regurgitated WikiLeaks and things, there are stuck in certain places that unless you're really searching for it, you'll find that they have hidden um, different types of metallurgy. Now, why would they hide metallurgy? In other words, how to heat treat something. If it goes on a spaceship and they don't want you to know they're working on it, and I found many documents that I've got on this computer that were released through WikiLeaks having to do with certain me being a machinist and having heat treated things and worked in metal and so forth. I was intrigued by this, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Why would they hide the process? Why? Oh, wait, there's an interesting element in there and how they treat it. Oh my goodness. And it's been hidden for the last 30 years. Why would they make top secret the heat treating of steels or elements or metals? So we don't know about it. So they can carry on with whatever spaceships or whatever they're doing, they can do it. And so if you don't think that they ain't been doing this for a while, oh my goodness, why would they cover up the heat treatment of metals? Wouldn't that be great if all of the world knew how to make metals that could either retain or reflect heat or sunlight or whatever the deal? You don't think that wouldn't be valuable? Not to these guys. So, in just my own personal digging into this, I've seen these things. Well, what I've also noticed is nanobots. And I bring this up because it is suggested that there are traits of people with patchy baldness or very early, they're bald by the age of 22 kind of thing. Well, it's hereditary. Maybe not. You may have gotten a vaccine that has a trigger in it. And that what if, and they've been reported in the Ukraine where these people literally change. They're the same people, but their whole demeanor, they turn robotic, and you can't kill them. And what has been stated is, some of you know about the black goo, that they actually took the black goo and used it in a DNA type bullet as far as a nanobot. And so it can attach itself to certain DNA molecules within us and literally turn our skin into that guy in the Terminator that turned liquid. We can't walk through walls, but our skin becomes like that, and that you literally can't shoot a bullet through us. However, you're also mind controlled from that point on, because it's also triggered something else, and now you become a master robot that's damn near indestructible, because now this DNA, and you got to ask the question, is that freaking possible? You got to look around and go, wait a minute, there's some strange people who that have acted like clones or robots or something, and we know they've got cloning. That's a given. But what if they've gotten to the point where the cloning has been in the vaccines, the cloning is in nanites that are all programmed not to destroy us, but to turn us into something we really don't want to be. And maybe it would be the zombie apocalypse. So my point to this is there is a lot of evidence out there, especially that's coming out in the Ukraine. And the Ukraine and folks over in Romania and Russian over there have complaining, and Putin even did a, a live stream video. There's several of the European Ukraine in that area, Uzbekistan, etc., where they have talked about the super soldiers from America, that you can shoot them, but they just keep going. Now, and that's been reported for many years now, and not the super soldier that's going out into space, but the super soldier that's down here on the planet. And what have they done to people? Through the cloning process, through nanotechnology. Now, I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but here's the thing though. What if? That's more scarier than any asteroid coming in. Just gotta say, But this isn't about fear porn. This is about waking folk up. And the thing is that I felt something earlier today, the reason I'm doing this video, in that I decided to make a choice not to waller in the depression. I was going to get up, going to do a video, going to do something, but I was not going to allow whatever that energy that was washing over me take the rest of my day. I made the choice. So in doing so, I'm doing this video saying hi to all you wonderful people out there. Suspending time, that too. There's been some really strange time dilations going on. And I did a video the other night in the middle of the night, just before the time changed. And the idea that they have the control to force dang near everybody on the planet to jump forward in time and lose an hour is just in itself. I've never been a fan of it. I just, it messes with people's circadian rhythms and so forth, their natural rhythms, and then they got to jump back in the fall and blah, blah, blah. But to the point, the fact that they have that kind of control over us, you just got to wonder. And I'll leave with this little joke. I said it the other day, but it's worth repeating. Native American chief was saying, white man is the only person who will cut a foot off the bottom of a blanket and sew it on the top of the blanket to make it longer. How about that one? And that is just so true. We're going to turn our clocks forward to fool the universe. Ha 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 ha. Big deal. But anyway, that is why Max Spears was murdered a week after leaving Cyprus. He did the Greeks all of this and much more. Yep. Super soldier like that. Duncan. Yes, Duncan. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. And he got attacked about a year ago, and they damn near killed the guy. But in that also, Pamela and Melanie, we're all super soldiers. We all get attacked. I was being attacked earlier today, and that's the reason I decided no, 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 no. And I had to call upon the Spirit to say, sorry. But listen, I don't want to take much more of your day. I just wanted to come here and say, I continue to support you. I continue to pray. I continue to put out good intent into the universe. Thank you for what you do. Let's keep up the work, even though it's hard right now. So blessings, blessings, blessings. End with a prayer as always. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the blessings from the universe. I continue to pray always that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, your relatives, and all of your relations will continue to receive and accept and receive the gifts from the universe and the knowledge, the healing, and of the wisdom. And I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to stay strong, and that you will continue to spread the greatness of the universe and the quantum. Met Max in 2012 at Great Man. Yep. So blessings, my friends. Thank you so much. Keep your head on your shoulder, and even through these rough times, just take a deep breath and we'll get through it. So from South Georgia, cloudy weather, the thunder has stopped, but we've got drizzle and rain. So much love, Pamela, Melanie, and everybody else who shows up here. Blessings, 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 and be safe. Till next time, TTFN. Ta ta for now from South Georgia. Cosmic hugs, everybody. Let's pass it on. Thank you. Bye.